City of Waterville Council meeting to order for Monday, September the 8th, 2025. And before we begin with a prayer, I would ask for a moment of silence to remember those that lost their lives on 9/11. Over 6,000 United States of America citizens lost their lives on that day. So I'd ask for a moment of silence, please. Thank you. And now I'd ask Councilmember Wayne Wagner to lead us in the prayer.
Loving God, as we come together tonight for the city of Waterville, we pause to ask you to be with us and guide our way. May your spirit of peace surround all we say and do this evening. We ask for your strength to do what is best for the good of Waterville. Lord God, as your servants of your people, we pray that you grant us to share your wisdom. Amen.
Amen. And all rise, and we'd like to ask Karen Gerhardinger to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And I'd ask for a roll call.
Here.
Here. Here.
Here.
Here. Here.
Here. Thank you. Next on our agenda is we have a presentation and a proclamation, and I will read the proclamation first. This is a proclamation, whereas Arbor Day has been established since 1872 as a day for recognizing and promoting the value of trees. And whereas the urban forest is an important component of Waterville's infrastructure that enhances our community by providing and conserving energy, purifying our air, reducing water pollution and storm runoff and water runoff, increasing the property values and beautifying our streets, parks, businesses, and homes. And whereas through the planting and nurturing of trees, children and adults may better understand and appreciate the complexity of nature and the importance of conservation, and may directly contribute to the enhanced enrichment of our environment. And whereas trees are of vital importance to our economy, our bountiful forests provide valuable renewable timber and energy resources, protect our indispensable watersheds, shelter our abundant wildlife, make neighborhoods more attractive, and beautify our nation. Whereas trees which we plant today and grow investment in the future and will become a treasured and living legacy. Now, therefore, I, Timothy G. Pedro, as mayor of the city of Waterville, do hereby proclaim September 26th, 2025 as Arbor Day in the city of Waterville, and I urge all residents to renew our pledge to respect, protect, and enhance our natural surroundings, and to encourage our residents to plant a tree to enrich the quality of life for all the residents. In witness thereof, I hereunto set my hand and cause to be affixed to the great seal of the city of Waterville on this 8th day of September 2025. Timothy G. Pedro. Thank you. Next, we have a presentation from Glenn Grisdale. He's going to give us an overview on the 2025 Waterville Comprehensive Plan. And Glenn, it's all yours.
Perfect. All right. Well, it's nice to see everyone in attendance. Today or tonight, this presentation marks a long time, right? We've been meeting with you for almost a year and a half. We started, I think, last February 24, down the path of updating your 2012 plan, right? Many of you, if you had enough time in your life to read it, you'd find out that it touches upon many things in your community. And so this is an affirmation of that process. We started, started in February of 2024, and our last meeting was with the Planning Commission. So a little bit about us, the comprehensive plan, and then the public approval process I will tell you about here briefly. For those who may not know who we are Reveille. We are located in Bowling Green, Ohio. We've been around since 1998, and we specialize in comprehensive community development solutions, one of which is doing comprehensive planning. Our goal is to help make communities be more prosperous and resilient and connected. We connect the comprehensive planning process with economic development, so we assist your CIC and ROD and John in regards to those types of things. And we're also helping you with your parks plan, which we'll talk about at the end of this process. We teamed with Manick & Smith, with Pat Etchie. They're really good at connecting the dots in regards to transportation dollars and stuff like that. Pat came to a few meetings. We worked with a really good comprehensive group of folks. You could see the list in front of you. Mary was your representative on council, along with Tim, John, and your city engineer, rounded out the other 11 folks that were on the committee. You had good representation from folks on the Planning Commission. Lisa Exner was part of it, part of the Anthony Wayne Arts community. We had folks from the Planning Commission, the Engineer's Office, the Metro Parks, and things like that. Lisa Weber was also very good to work with. We then worked with a variety of different departments and agencies that touch your footprint here, and we'll tell you about those folks here in a minute. The process we took you through was a 4-phase project, with the 5th phase being community outreach, and that's still going on today. In fact, anyone that wants to take the survey can take the survey still. There's 2 surveys that are still outstanding. We had to, at some point in time, take a cutoff of what folks were thinking about to come up with your strategies, but folks still today can tell us what they're thinking about. We also inventoried and asked the students to be part of it at the Anthony Wayne schools. So the community outreach ran throughout the entire process. We met with stakeholders. They filled out planning inventory worksheets. They told us about how the community could be better connected, or the land uses they would like to see. It was about a 5-page form. Mary can tell you, we hit the committee with a lot of different requests for information. They filled out a lot of forms, as did the agencies and the departments here in the city. This community took a survey, the students took a survey, and that then helped us build a strong basis for doing what we call the Community Preferences Survey. That was a survey that finalized everything. We then tied that together with agencies that responded to us. There was about 15 from all the folks in Lucas County. Waterville Township was part of the process. We got with White House, they were part of the process. Our goal is to kind of figure out what people are doing in your community so we could be more resourceful, you could be more resourceful, and you could coordinate better with the resources that you have. We had 7 meetings. All that information went into writing this plan, which unlike this one, it kind of can hide on a shelf easily. This wet noodle is hard to hide, and so well, at the last Planning Commission meeting that we had, I set it up like this, saying that it wouldn't be able to, and it stood up. That's not the goal. The goal is for this thing not to hide easily. So we wrote the plan. We went before the Planning Commission in July. They unanimously mentioned to forward it to you, City Council, for review and approval tonight. And this is the last phase. We need to adopt it. As I had mentioned before, we had really good, a broad turnout with folks that participated in the process. We had about 544 responses from the community survey. the student survey. We had 95 responses. I wish we would have had a little more, but it coincided with one superintendent leaving and a new one kind of filling in that role. And then we had a community preferences survey. So when you add all that up and you overlay it on top of all the stakeholders, the folks that we talked to at the chamber, the department agencies and all that stuff, we had about 900 responses to this process, which is really good. Karen did a good job at the Mirror. Where's Karen? There's Karen. To put the word out. We also had publicity through the chamber, through different social media outlets, and things like that. So we did get a pretty good turnout from folks. The community survey results are included in here. I won't bore you with them, but these surveys, the community survey, the student survey, and then the community preferences survey went to build and prioritize the strategies in your plan. So the particulars that we looked at in this comp plan, we looked at what happened back in 2012, right? And we overlay that on what's happened since then. We call it community drama. Every community has it. We add that information on top of looking at how Waterville fits in with the regional setting. And then we go down all these different, what we call functional areas of the plan: population and demographics, community services and facilities, neighborhoods and your housing element, to economic development, infrastructure, transportation, and then land uses and things like that. And then we broke your community up into what we call planning areas. And these planning areas then had another deep dive in regards to all these different areas. So we tell the reader specifically what's going on in each one of these areas in regards to the existing land uses and zoning, infrastructure, projects that you have planned or wish to have planned, connectivity, pedestrian connectivity, any capital improvements, and then each planning area may have a recommended cluster of strategies that the Planning Commission then will hopefully use in guiding development, or John could use to work with the Public Works and Council to figure out the timing of specific capital improvement projects and stuff like that. So when you dig into the plan, you'll notice there's 11 different sections like this that talk about the planning area. We give the reader kind of an understanding of what's going on, the planning issues that are going on, and then all those different things that I talked to you about: existing land uses, environmental considerations, and public works and transportation and stuff like that. So after we did all of that, the last thing we did was a community preferences survey, because there were some still outstanding questions that we felt were important to ask folks. And there were questions like, you know, hey, the community really loves parks and recreation. How can we be more resourceful, right? This is trending a lot, and it happened before COVID. People were kind of moving around the cabin in their communities and wanted to do more, but most communities are generally under-resourced in that area, right? You know, they're busy fixing roads and busy making sure water and sewer gets done right, that sometimes parks and recs is an afterthought, right? And so here, your community said, hey, yeah, we like pedestrian connectivity, we like our youth sports, we like all these things. And so one of the questions we asked was, how can you be more resourceful, right? And folks are open to either doing a joint rec district with another community, or even doing a parks levy, right? And so that information kind of helps set the table for you as you advance some initiatives like the Park and Recs plan that you're doing right now. So you can kind of see here, you know, we had questions that we asked folks. We asked about the biggest threat to the riverfront. Yeah, here's the specific question in regards to parks and recs, but I won't bore you with all of that. But this information went into help timing and prioritizing strategies. So out of all the surveys, out of all the department coordination, all the stakeholders we talked to, include everybody at the county, and what your residents were telling us, we broke your communities document, this comprehensive plan, into 3 themes, one of which is vibrant community. Residents and your businesses, folks that we talk to, want your community to continue the vibrancy that you've helped to set forward. And so this plan talks about 13 different strategies that will help you with that. Infrastructure and community services is really important to folks too. So there's 9 strategies aimed at helping ensuring your infrastructure is maintained properly and that you have the sufficient resources and capacity to grow incrementally for decades. And then there's 22 strategies in regards to connected community. And Pat from Manica Smith was very granular with these strategies. So some strategies might be finish the bike path from here to here, or finish the sidewalks from X to Z, or X to Y. And that's really important as you do your capital improvement planning. And that's why, the plan that we did, I think, will really help set the tone for you in allocating resources strategically and more resourcefully. So you'll see the plans and strategies were all part of this process, and they're laid out in the plan based upon who can help you implement this type of a strategy. So you'll see the strategy in the far left, and then you'll see City Council is part and parcel to many of these discussions because resources are involved. The Planning Commission, there's different city departments, and then we talk about the organizations that can help you either locally or regionally. And then with the steering committee, we worked on kind of a time frame that the strategy should be looked at, be implemented or adopted. Short term, I think, is up to 2 years. Medium term is between 2 and 4 years, and then there's 4 to 6. And there's some strategies that are ongoing, like you're never going to have enough resources to activate your public realm space. But here we keep this blank, this percent complete. So hopefully every year you can go through and say, hey, John, what was been done, or the Planning Commission, or the same committee that created this plan could be that review committee. And you can go through and figure out in one evening what's been done and what's not been done and reprioritize it. So that's hopefully will be a tool for you. And you'll see this is the, so these are the vibrant community, this is the infrastructure piece, and then we have all these different 22 strategies, some of which are very granular down to the bike path and segment of bike path. And so that's that in a nutshell. The plan is less than 100 pages. It's really tough to take complex information, make it real simple, but we've tried to make it as simple as possible and easier to digest for you. So the next steps is simply to adopt the plan tonight. You've already started to implement the plan. Your Parks Committee is looking to begin a Park and Recs master plan survey. So we worked with the Parks Committee to come up with a survey, right? And this is ready to go. I think at your festival coming up at the end of the month, this will be ready to go live and to start generating excitement about what folks would like to see from a Park and Rec standpoint. This was something, was an opportunity area, right? I know it goes across the river, and in a perfect world, if there was unlimited resources, you'd want to connect with Wood County, and that possibility is still out there. But taking a step closer to the river is trying to figure out this piece, and the rendering that we did was used in a grant application. You guys successfully attained those funds, and so the next step would be to completing this project. And then Mayor Pedro is working with a group of folks, as is the Parks Committee, in regards to this inclusive park project. And so stay tuned on that. That is kind of an element or a byproduct of the comprehensive planning process. And then stay tuned on this. The city is actively still trying to see if there's some solution towards this. But again, this solution, while grand, is costly. No one's printing money anymore, right? So you can't have an idea without an image, and so this should set the table for that. And that's the plan in a nutshell. Sorry, 23 minutes. Can't believe that. Did it say 20?
That's all you did in 14 months, 15 months? What the heck?
Yeah, it was hard, just trying to coordinate.
No, I do want to make some comments, and I know council will want to also. Number one, thank you, and thanks to the committee that met over the last several months. I did look at it. I've been looking at it all along, but I looked at it again last night and Saturday. And I think council, we're gonna be reviewing this. We're not gonna plan and pass it tonight, but just some observations in general. I'm going to suggest to council later on some of the action items where you laid them out. I think you had O for like ongoing and S for short term. I might suggest we try and tweak some of those. Some maybe we can define them into like get them done in 6 months, maybe, or 9 months, or a goal. Just to task. And you touched on it already. The committee that helped develop this plan, I'd like to engage them going forward with council. And to me, it's a roadmap that we should follow. And then I'll close by saying, council members, this is an opportunity now, once we review it and approve it later, that we start our budget process that's coming up, so we get that into John's hands and maybe get the budget passed in December instead of January. Well, maybe that's a little bit forward thinking. But anyway, thank you. I've got lots of notes which I'll be discussing later on. So I'll open it up to council, and I'll start with Mary Duncan.
I just wanted to say that it was a joy being on the committee. Your team turned things around so fast. It was amazing to me. But I wanted to thank you personally because you really, you care about the community and you care about your project so much, and it shows. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And that's not a paid advertisement. I will take it. I'm not used to hearing that. Well, I am, but thank you. It never gets old. Thank you.
John Rosick?
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I want to also thank you, Glenn, certainly, but the committee. It's great when we have volunteers. We had 15, I think, community members volunteer, which is really a nice input into the project, plus the people that responded to the survey. So thank you very much. I think this is really important because Waterville is growing, and we want to make sure we maintain focus on the future on how the community should grow. And this is a real good roadmap. I haven't looked at the whole report yet because it's very thorough. It appears to be. But I think it'll be a very nice, as Tim said, a nice roadmap for us going forward. So thank you very much, Glenn. Thanks for coming tonight. And is that a C on your hat?
Yeah, unfortunately it is. I need to get one of those reversible hats, back in the day for the bandwagon fans. There was you always had the Cowboys, the reversible jacket was like Cowboys and then Michigan, whoever was winning. Unfortunately, I don't have a D on the other side, but I should.
So is that for Cincinnati or Cleveland?
Cleveland.
Yeah. I couldn't tell which it was from here, so thanks.
Wayne?
Thanks, Glenn, and thanks to the committee. I know Anthony and I both look forward to working with you further for the Parks Committee for that master plan. So there's a lot of people that are looking forward to the Parks part of it. So.
Rod Fry?
Thanks for your time tonight, Glenn. I appreciate it. I've not had an opportunity to read the whole thing, but I will.
Okay, good.
But it looks like you got a lot of good input, which is really good to see, the community providing the input that we need to put this together. And like I said, we do this every 10 years, right, John? Yeah. But thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Todd?
Yeah, Glenn, everything's pretty much been covered. You did a great job. I love the report. I was very happy to see all the community that was really giving you, their input into what to do and what they want to see in Waterville. Great job. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Anthony?
Thank you very much for it, and I'm looking forward to getting out the Parks and Rec survey as well.
Good.
Seeing the stats on that, so thanks.
Yeah. So the card's done, and with the QR code, folks in the public will be able to take the survey just like they did with this survey. So they'll be able to take it on their phone, they'll be able to take it on their laptop and tablet, and we'll also have printed copies available for them as well. And we'll get with John and maybe print something big, and that'll be out at your festival.
Good.
Great. Yeah. Great.
Mayor, could I just
certainly
ask
can.
one more question? I'm sorry, I meant to ask Glenn. You said the surveys were still open to the public. So what will you do with that information if people do respond?
So what we would do is if, and this has never happened to us, we keep the surveys open because, everyone has a busy schedule, and they may not know that the process is going on. But if the comments were overwhelming and completely against any of the strategies or some of the strategies that we would be making or did make, we'd go back and look at them to see if maybe we need to make some revisions. But in this case, it's been open for so long, and we haven't had many of them come in the last 3 months, 4 months. So,
Yeah.
but if major comments came back, we would then get the committee back together and digest them and figure out what it means and change the plan accordingly.
Yeah, good. Are those on the city website, John? Surveys are still on? Good.
Yep.
Unless there's anything else, Glenn,
No?
you're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting, but you don't have to.
Okay.
Don't make
All right.
Well, let's see here. John, I'm going to close this out, and then if you want me to, I will take the aerials that you wanted and transfer them over, or do you want to just keep the thumb drive for now?
Yeah, I guess I could hold on to the thumb drive.
All right.
Thanks, Glenn.
Thanks, Glenn.
Thanks, Glenn.
Alrighty, moving on to next part of our business is the approval of the minutes from our regular scheduled meeting from August the 25th. We've all had a chance to receive and review the minutes. I need a motion to accept the minutes.
So moved.
So moved, Todd Borowski. Need a second?
Second.
Second, John Rozick. Any more discussion?
Just to verify things on regarding the Quick Trip, didn't you make the motion to deny?
I think,
Did you? I thought John did it as part of his,
I think I seconded it.
you seconded? Okay.
Yeah.
Then I have nothing.
Okay.
But thanks
I
for giving me the
swear,
credit.
I
Yeah.
thought you didn't. I
No,
thought
I think
you
he said,
made the
I think he
motion.
said it at the same time. I ended up doing second.
Yeah, I deferred to the vice mayor.
Yes.
All right, so we got that discussed. So seeing there's no corrections, I need a motion has been granted and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All righty, we'll move on to citizens' comments. And first up, we have a couple folks, Lori Kisko and her son Colin Kisko and friend Andrew Wazuski, right? Wazinski, excuse me. Would you please go to the podium and state your name and address and the nature of your business?
Hi, I'm Lori Kisko, and I'm here representing the Boy Scouts Troop 101 here in Waterville, and my address is 33 Mattatuck Way, Waterville.
Hi, I'm Andrew Wazinski. I am from Troop 101, and my rank is Life, and I'm from, I live at 25159 Rocky Harbor Drive, Riverbend.
I'm Colin Kisko. I'm a Life Scout with Troop 101, and I'm here to represent Run to Booth on Friday, September 26th.
Can you tell us about that,
Yeah,
please?
So we were here. I was asked as a small business owner in town to help kind of like step up the rendezvous this year, and so we were looking for sponsorships around town. So Colin and I have came up with a letter. We have distributed sponsorships around town, but what we are here tonight for is to try to promote the rendezvous. So we have a few flyers, but we just wanted to let the city know about it and try to like step up our game a little bit. So with the scouts, so I thought that we met with the chamber and thought this would be a good idea to kind of get their word out there about our event and kind of just let you guys know what was going around town and something that we can promote as the Boy Scouts and
Good.
as a small business owner.
So this is, I think, the third year, I believe.
This is the third year.
Third year, and this is
And they have never done anything sponsorship wise.
Okay.
So we've never asked for any sponsorships from anywhere in the community, and so that's why this year, TJ Miller, who is running the event, asked me as a small business owner in town if I could help do that with the boys. So,
Good. Well, we appreciate it because it adds another flavor
Have a
to
few
the
ads here.
Rooster Buff Festival, which is the following day.
yes.
And we know it's Friday night. And just remind us of the details because you're being recorded, so a lot of people are listening. So tell us
Yes.
the location, the date.
It'll be
But-
right down, it's on Friday night, down at 6 o'clock, right down at Parker Square. In downtown, that's where the race will start, and it'll go through, downtown. It is a 5K race. There is a kids race as well as an adult. And then, the winners and top finishers will be awarded with prizes. And so, yes, we're just trying to, get our name out there and support the city, and so.
It's a good, healthy exercise. And how much does it
Yes.
cost to
I believe it is, I believe it's 20, I think it's $25. So that's the t-shirt, if you don't get it, yes. Here's a pamphlet, we can put it up there or put it on anywhere if you guys want, but the, sign up is here. I think it's $25 for a runner, and then it includes a free t-shirt if you, sign up by, September 14th.
And Troop 101 is one of the, I guess, one of the sponsors, if you will.
Correct, yes,
you.
and then Second Soul, is also helping us sponsor the race.
Good. Well, I'm sure council might have a comment or two, but make sure you leave some of those flyers
I will,
for us,
I will.
please. And I'll start with Anthony Bruno.
Okay,
I'd be interested in doing one of the sponsorships, so
okay.
I'll,
I have a letter here, and I can give it to you, and then
Okay,
you can
cool.
contact me. That'd be great, thank you.
Todd?
No, great event. You guys actually run by my house, and I see you guys. First year, I was like, oh, what's going on? This is nice. I should get out there, but yeah, maybe
Thank
this
you.
year.
We'll do it.
Yeah, all right. I'm with you, Ron.
All right. Thank you for sharing it.
Thank
Appreciate it.
I participated in it the first year. I didn't run, I walked. So there's always a walking
Yes.
option. You know, my wife was a runner before, her surgeries, but, they have to print these shirts in hopes that someone's gonna come and spend the $25 to get them. So
Right,
I would encourage the city to maybe sponsor, do a $500 sponsorship. Not to put us on the spot, but, these runners and walkers come from a lot of them outside the area, and then they stay here and they drink and eat, and maybe they'll see the festival going on the next day and come back for that. So it's a good event, and I would love to see the city help sponsor that as well.
Okay.
And I look forward to a good event.
thank you, I appreciate it.
John Rosick.
This is great. Thanks for coming, first of all, and thanks for getting this organized and getting everybody involved.
Thank you, appreciate it.
I know it's a lot of work. I'll buy a t-shirt, I won't run. I also won't walk, but I'll buy a t-shirt. So leave me a paper.
Thank you, I will.
And then I know that, or I believe, because it's the third year and it's gaining at least some momentum along the way. I know the city's involved and the police and blocking off traffic and whatnot. Wayne brought up a point that he thought maybe the city could be a sponsor. I think it'd be wise if we wanted to discuss it and to take action. Tonight be the night because it's coming up. So I want to put that in a motion and then we could discuss it further.
I make a motion to spend up to $500 to help sponsor the 2025 Run to Booth with the Boy Scouts.
Need a second?
Second.
Second, Anthony Bruno. Any more discussion? The only thing I would ask that the funds that are raised, are they divided up between the scouts and the sole source, or how's that all?
They'll go to,
It all
her-
goes to-
all the scouts.
Scouts, okay, good. And I know you Scout did a great thing for our community. I'll save that comment for, so we got it's been moved and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All right. Gentlemen, Life Scouts, right?
Yep,
Next is Eagle, right?
yep.
What's your Eagle project?
Mine, I actually am trying to get confirmation to do it. I'm making 2 flyer survey boxes, one for the fireman station, possibly, and another one for the police station. So that's mine. I'm trying to get people to say yes, and then I can start building my stuff then. So
Good.
this is gonna be my own project.
How about you, sir?
I was gonna do a So I really wanted to like help the homeless and the needy around in the community. So I was gonna build a box that had like commodities and goods in it that people could take, and I was thinking that the Boy Scouts could also provide some stuff for people to take. And
Good.
for needy.
Good ideas. Well, thank you for being here, and good luck,
Thank
and
you.
we'll promote what we can, but we'll
Thank
take some
you.
flyers.
Yep, here's some flyers and then I'll pass out.
Yeah.
Lori, the big question is when are, what's the last day?
September 28th,
Oh.
day after Roche Day Boom.
That's right. There you go.
So there's some,
They usually close
sponsorship.
on Rosh
Thank you, I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Might get these Boy
Thank
Scouts
you.
back to their
Sure.
meeting, but
Yeah.
we appreciate it, yes.
Thanks.
Make sure John.
Yeah, make some copies.
Yeah, John, can you just email us a PDF? That would be good.
I should drive my
You want me to just drop it off at the house or something? Okay.
I know, don't you love it?
Sounds good.
And then I have another question for you. Since you guys are sponsoring, you'll be on the back of the t-shirts. Do you guys have a Waterville logo? That
Get it
you
from
would
John.
Like John? Okay.
Yeah, just, I think this,
Okay.
we could send it to you, or?
Okay. Yes. Okay. Perfect.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
All right, thanks. Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
And next, we have a public comment from Dave Weber. Dave, if you want to state your name and address and the nature of your business.
My name's Dave Weber, Toledo, Ohio. I'm representing a grassroots now corporation called Save the Bridge Association. We are now a 501c3, so we do take tax deductible contributions. I wish I'd been first. I would have tried to enlist the Boy Scouts to take on a project. There's no more noble project than trying to save this historic bridge behind us. It would have a huge impact, as you know, on Waterville. I have some items, I guess they're mainly kind of heads up. One is, I guess Katie isn't here today, but at the last meeting, she committed to doing a review of the documentation submitted by the Downtown Historic District, and she was going to give a legal review of that. She said it would take 2 or 3 days, but that was a couple of weeks ago, so I was wondering, has there been anything in writing on that?
I think, Dave, I can comment on that. We talked earlier today, you and I. That's actually in our long-range plan, so it's in motion, and it's going to a lot of reviewing, but that's being processed.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess my comment is time is of the essence. We've frittered away about a half a year, and we need to be applying for grants, and that is one grant opportunity. So yeah, I'd like to be kept up on that. If I can get any kind of status of that, I can give it to the rest of our members. And as you know, we're grassroots members, so everything we do, everyone knows about. Okay, another heads up is our group had a meeting with the mayor and the city manager, and it was mainly to do with finance, getting financing to save the bridge, and we asked Waterville to apply for, or if they could apply for financial assistance from the State of Ohio's Clean Ohio program. And this is to purchase land on the north bank of the Maumee on each side of the bridge. One side is residential, the other side's commercial, but it's only the land that is toward where the bank is. And then also the ODOT railroad land. and that would be for the purpose of the bike trail and scenic overlook. And then in doing so, it would allow also asking ODOT. ODOT has a program for scenic overlooks on the Maumee Valley Scenic Byway, and they have a given amount of funds available for that if people ask for it, but that's for all of Ohio. And the Maumee Valley Scenic Overlook money then would go toward expanding the overlook out further into the river, and so you could rehab one or two of the arches there, which are in pretty good shape. The thing is, though, it's very tight timing. The deadline is September 26th to submit for Clean Ohio, and so hence I asked the mayor if he would send a letter asking the corridor if they would submit. Turns out the corridor is a environmental group. I put in a request to Public Works of Ohio for our corporation to become a environmental group, and they rejected it mainly because our mission is to save bridges, and we didn't have in our mission to the environmental aspect of things. So we need a partner, either Waterville, Metro Parks Toledo, Maumee Valley Heritage Corridor, which manages the scenic byway. We need someone to hit the submit button, basically, so we get the money needed. And then, the other there's kind of like it's a twofer. If you get accepted for Clean Ohio, you can apply for and probably get money for the scenic overlook from ODOT. But there's a secondary aspect, and that's it creates an environmental covenant. In other words, if a property is owned by a commercial interest or a residential interest, you can't go to like the Black Swamp Conservancy and ask them to monitor it. And what they do is they make sure that the property stays perpetually green space, and they remove all invasive species from there and plant. You were talking about trees. You know, they get the trees planted there. So basically, it's a twofer. It's creating a green space that would be part of the park system. And I know for a fact that Black Swamp Conservancy won't do it unless it is a green space and one owner. So that's the twofer on that. But it's a kind of tight timing, and the 26th is, if we don't get a way of submitting, then it's not going to happen. Another is I asked the mayor to help us. 3 months ago, we asked, ODOT had a meeting with us and Waterville, and they gave a presentation about Indiana bridges that were preserved and rehabilitated. And I asked the author, Joni, Joni, I just have a mental block of what her name is right now. But in any case, I asked ODOT bridge engineer for help in the estimate. We got together and came up with an estimate to preserve the bridge, in other words, non-functional but safe. And the estimate was $600,000. And I think it's a little high. Some of the others think it's not high enough. It was kind of a compromise, right? So we need a goal now to write grants. We're going to be starting this week writing grants. When we send out the foundations, we need to tell them this is our goal, right? And you'll be a small part of it. So we need to come up with that. Well, Joni, yeah, it is Joni. Joni sent a note back to me saying she can't help with the estimate because we aren't a municipality. We're a 501c3. So all we need from the mayor is a note to Joni saying we need ODOT help in coming up with an estimate of how much it would cost to preserve the bridge. Another thing that came out of the meeting was I asked City Manager John Gokenauer to send us the details of the TAP grant. and once I get that, I'll give it to the rest of the group. But yeah, I haven't received that yet, but I thought I'd let you know. And I think that's about it. So, and then I guess the other new thing that came up was this city plan. I didn't know anything about it, so I will convey that over to all of our members, because I'm pretty sure they don't know that there's open for comment, especially for the park aspect of it. So, thank you.
All right, thanks, Dave.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Dave.
thank you. All right, next on our agenda is our staff reports. I'll start with John Gopinol.
Thank you, Mayor. Council has a copy of my report. The city paving program is essentially done. I guess I was pretty impressed with their paving of the alley between Farnsworth and Michigan, and I thought it turned out very well. And you know, paving in the some tight areas along that apartment building, and I think they did a really nice job. And you know, there's storm sewer in now, so I think they did a really good job. So other than some seeding here and there, they should be done. I think they still have some construction signs around, but other than that, you know, they should be done with that. I know we had the Boy Scouts here. We actually did meet with the Boy Scouts about helping them organize the race, and you know, they're going to help out with the timing and, you know, providing people's times and those type of things. So we are pretty much all set for the Run to Boo 5K, and that's Friday, September 26, 2025. As council is aware, the city did apply for the Roche de Boeuf Overlook and Shared Use Path Improvement Project. So we did receive notice that we got a grant for $557,625. So that is to put in an overlook on the second pier that's in from the between the river and River Road, and it would use the wing walls and, you know, the pier, and we'd have an overlook. There would be a 35-foot pedestrian span across South River Road, so you could access the overlook from a proposed parking area that's located to the north. So that would have about 8 parking spaces, and then it would have a connection to the trail, and then from the parking lot to the bridge there would be a shared use path, and then there would also be a shared use path from the bridge by stairs, so you could connect the overlook to Farnsworth Metro Park. So that we did receive notice that we did get funding for that, so I wanted to mention that. And then council has a copy of a spreadsheet, and this was provided by the Lucas County Health Department, and I wanted to kind of go over that. As you're all aware, the health department has been located in their headquarters in downtown Toledo. Pretty awful building, and they've been trying to get out of that for about the last 10 years. So they did put an offer in, and it was accepted by the Diocese of Toledo. So they're buying the Pastoral Center on Spielbush Avenue, so that's near Cherry, and the Ohio 6th District Court of Appeals is across the street, so to get an idea of where that is. They are taking out a loan for $5 million, and they're thinking it'll be a 5-year loan, and they'll pay it off in 5 years. And on the spreadsheet, you have the loan amount, the interest rate, what they think the interest is, and then the total cost of the loan. And the idea is they are asking the members of the health department, the health district, to contribute to the capital costs of buying this building. The building it actually has 7 floors and a basement. It's over 61,000 square feet. and they purchased it for $2.5 million. So, having been in that building a couple times, I mean, it is fairly well maintained. So I think they got a pretty good deal on that. So, it's based on population. So Waterville's population, according to the last census, is 6,003 people. So we are 1.39% of the area they serve, population-wise. So our contribution to the, I guess, the purchase of the building and then also renovating the building, and what they're looking at is renovating it over the 5 years. And if they don't need the entire $5 million, since they bought the building for 2.5, they would, close out the loan at whatever it actually costs to do the building. So that is something that they're asking council to consider at your next council meeting. So we'd have legislation. We would have to amend the health district agreement that we signed a couple years ago, and we would agree to the payment of $16,208 a year, and then for 5 years. And again, it's based on population, and the city of Toledo has 62% of the, I guess, the population. So they're carrying most of the cost of this improvement. And then the city has also agreed. The city of Toledo has also agreed to contribute $171,039 towards the operational costs of the new building for 5 years. So they'll because they did that now, and the existing building that they're in is actually owned by the city of Toledo, and one of the reasons they wanted to leave is there was a lot of deferred maintenance in there. So the city of Toledo is agreeing to fund the health department for the next 5 years at that $171,000 to kind of continue that, so the health department can build up a reserve, and then they can take care of their own operational costs. So the idea is that the health department would be self-sufficient. They would take care of their own maintenance, operating costs, and this is their plan of doing that. They've actually secured it a loan with Genoa Bank, which I was kind of surprised. They took bids from different banks, and Genoa Bank had the best bid, the best interest rate, so they were going to go with them. I mentioned the $2.5 million is the cost of the building, and then the Lathrop Construction Corporation, they developed the estimate for the remainder of the building, and it came out to about $2.4 million. So again, it is 7 floors, and it has a basement, and so it is a fairly large building. It has a nice parking lot, and so I think it'll be a lot easier to use than their existing location. So at the next council meeting, we'll have some legislation on this issue that we would contribute to the cost of their building, and it's for 5 years. It would be taken out of our real estate settlement, of course. So that's how they plan on doing it, and they are going to meet with the townships, and I guess on Wednesday, and hopefully get their blessing on this, and we can move forward with securing this building purchase.
So next meeting we'll take
Right.
action on this, right? Thank you.
And that concludes my report. If council has any questions.
Council?
I have a couple, John, so I guess we'll start with that one, and we can talk more about it next week. But being that we're contributing 1.39% to the cost, are we gonna have 1.39% ownership stake in the building?
No.
So if they decide to sell in 5 years, they just take our money and run and,
Well, I mean, they're taking out the loan. It's in their name. They're assuming the debt. So I mean, this is the way of paying off the debt, and since they represent everybody, I guess.
Sure.
And we have a representative on the board,
Right.
but yeah, it's a small piece of the building.
Yeah, I just wonder what else they're gonna use it for, 7 floors,
So I can tell you, I've been down to the existing building, and it said it's the health department. Health, Health. They got buckets in there to collect the rainwater.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
Mold,
Yeah.
asbestos. It's very inefficient,
Yeah, it's
and
gotta be
I think the team down there at the health department has studied this and looked at the best, and they came away with a good plan.
And then second, will we get any design input for the overlook when time comes?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
we can maybe incorporate.
Yeah, we would have a design process of probably a year.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, that, you know, that's just an idea. It's not
Not cemented.
set in
yet.
stone, but
Okay.
it was presented to the park board and the Public Works, and they said it sounds good, go ahead, and we'd recommend you go ahead and apply for that grant.
And that's it.
John, was it?
Of course, thank you, Mayor. And on the overlook, is there a deadline when we have to use the grant, John, or how does that go?
2028.
2028? So we have plenty of time to plan and
Yeah,
construct.
design and, you know, you'd have to get into the piers and what they're made of and all that
Yeah,
kind of good
yeah.
stuff, so.
Okay, well, good work on getting that so quickly, thank you, that's great, that's great. And I wanted to, I know we're gonna talk about this next meeting, but I thought the population of Lucas County was about 600,000, and this shows 400,000.
It used to be.
It still is, I think, I don't
I
know.
don't think so.
Yeah, I think it is a little
Is it
less
that
than
high?
500,000 now.
Really?
Yeah, people are moving out.
The city of
No, that
Toledo
cannot-
is
They're moving out here, but more are moving out of the county too, so.
sadly,
Yeah, sadly.
moving to Wood
And,
County.
what if all the municipalities don't agree, then what happens?
Well, I think they're probably, they're gonna have some problems, but, they're pretty optimistic that, I guess, Toledo is on board with $171,000, on the operating costs, which I guess they don't have to do. So they're, you know, they're on board and they're 62%, and, I guess Sylvania Township, Springfield, Monclova, they're on board with it, so, I'm not sure, you know, the other cities and they passed anything, but I guess they're gonna be, you know, Oregon and City of Sylvania, they've all gotten the same material that we've
Yeah.
gotten, so.
Thanks, thank you, thanks, Mayor.
Barry?
No questions.
Rod Fry?
So we'll be talking about this
Yeah.
later at the next meeting.
Yes.
Okay. I just had a quick question on this overlook. John, who owns this property? I mean, where the parking lot is and where the multi-use path goes over to where the actual outlook's gonna be constructed on the piers? Who owns all that ground right now?
So that's owned by, I guess technically by the ODOT.
Okay,
It's abandoned railroad right of way. They own it, but it's sandwiched between the city right of way on South River Road, and it's sandwiched between the city right of way on Anthony Wayne Trail.
okay.
So it's a landlocked piece of right of way that they have no use for. So in most cases, when they have property like that, they donate it to a municipality. They donate it to the Ohio Department of Natural Resources if it's contiguous with some kind of parkland or something. Or if no one wants it, they auction it off, and if they get any bids, then they take that. I guess the last resort would be they would give it to the adjacent property owners if no one
To maintain.
bought it at auction.
So at this point, it's the plan to have them
Yeah,
deed it to the city?
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Todd?
No report.
Okay, we will move on to our law director, who's not here tonight. Next is our finance director. Thank you, Tiffany, and our treasurer. All righty. Communications from council members. We'll start with Anthony Bruno.
No report, Mayor.
Todd?
No report.
All right, and Rod Fry.
I don't have any report today.
Wayne?
The only thing I have, because we won't meet again, is the Tree Commission is doing their second annual walkabout, and they're really hoping that City Council will attend. It is on September 15th. I know it's a little bit late to be telling you about it, at 6 o'clock at Parker Square. So that's a dedicated group, man. That's about as best I can describe it. It's, the Tree Commission is, I've been to every meeting of every committee we have at least once, and that Tree Commission is on top of it. So if If some of you guys can go, that'd be great. I know
September 15th.
September 15th.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, Parker Square. They really put a lot of effort into it, so.
Okay, thank you. John?
Mayor, yeah, thank you. Yeah, and I've raised this a couple times, I think, individually maybe, but now that we passed by not passing the quick stop, I would like us to consider a moratorium on gas station development within the city. I think we have three resources to fuel our cars. They're never busy. And I imagine Myers probably will have gas, although I'd love to not have gas at Myers if possible. But so I know we can't do it tonight, but if we could get a resolution maybe for a meeting coming up, a moratorium for the longest period of time possible.
Okay, we can do that. I maybe just to go along with that, I know in our master plan, which we've all not had a chance to digest, there's some language, there's some discussions in there about our whole zoning code that's got to be addressed, and so those things will come into play. But I think for the short term, yes, John, we will do that. Okay,
Thanks.
Mary Duncan.
No report this evening.
Okay, I have just a couple. We talked about the Rooster Roof coming up at the end of the month. It's a fun family festival that Chamber of Commerce is hosting. You heard from the fun run the night before. Also, this Saturday, bring your fishing gear down to the park down at Waterworks Park. We're going to have a derby with Rotary, and Public Works is hosting that. And there's also going to be a special event that I would encourage all council members to attend down there that morning. So Rotary and Public Works are putting that on, and then the city's got a small piece on a special announcement that day at the Waterworks Park. That's all I have. All right, next is old business. And it's ordinance number 0725, an ordinance revising the Waterville Codified Ordinances, Part 11, Planning and Zoning Code, Chapter 1141 M1, and the regulation of data centers in the city of Waterville. The first reading was scheduled on July 28th. The second reading was scheduled on August 25. The third reading and public hearing and legislative action is scheduled for tonight, September 8th, and I'd ask John to elaborate.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, this is the third reading and the public hearing for our suggested or proposed text amendments to the zoning code for data centers. Recently, Oregon had a project that they approved the zoning and things like that, and that's moving forward. So there is a lot of interest out this way in terms of data center development. There's one in Middleton Township, Spencer Township, Myclova Township, and then Waterville Township has also added things to their zoning code. The townships are making it as a conditional use in agricultural districts. So in most agricultural districts, you have permitted uses are residences. So, there might be a conflict between data centers and residences being nearby. So the city has taken a look at kind of adopting what Oregon did, and they are putting data centers in like a light industrial zoning district. So the M1 light industrial zoning district in Waterville allows light manufacturing, but it doesn't have any objectionable odor, smoke, gas, dust, or noise. So this kind of fits in there. Those are the type of light industrial uses that we have. And then if we have any ancillary type uses that if a data center would come here and you had a business that supported that development, that could also locate in the M1 district. So the Planning Commission took a look at this at their July 7th meeting, and they recommended that we adopt these proposed amendments. So we have setbacks from residences, setbacks from other commercial uses, landscaping requirements, architectural requirements, what the buildings look like since they're usually pretty large, making it look like it's just not a massive square box. So emphasis on the exterior design of these facilities, the code amendments, essentially make it part of the commercial overlay district. It doesn't say that specifically, but you're required to follow the same criteria that are required in commercial overlay districts. So the Planning Commission will take a look at that. It has to go through site plan review, which, you don't see any of that in the township requirements. It's a conditional use. So there's no real, a developer kind of wants to know the way they need to go to get something approved, and that there's requirements and there's a path to follow and things like that. So this kind of follows what Oregon did, and you lay out the basic requirements of the project, and again, they tend not to generate a lot of traffic. Most of the building, the equipment that would generate noise is usually located inside. They need power and electricity, so I mean, those are issues, I guess, that are probably beyond our control in terms of if they need more power or additional water usage. I mean, again, that might be something that we can't do on our own, but those are something that they would take a look at before they would consider a site in Waterville. Is that available? Is that nearby? And so there they are. If council has any questions.
So we're going to have a public hearing, right? Okay. I am opening up a public hearing to discuss ordinance number 0725. And anybody in the audience that wants to make a comment, you're welcome to do so.
Dave Weber. I read about this, and one of the things you got to watch out for is electricity. Data centers use a lot of electricity, and Oregon is closer to Davis-Besse than Waterville is, so you might want to be careful about that. In other words, you don't want to overload your grid. But a good selling point is the Maumee River. They need the water for cooling, and so you don't have to worry about water treatment. You could just pull it right out of the river, and it's a minor filtering. So
good. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? I have closed the public hearing for ordinance number 0725. And I need a motion to accept ordinance number 0725.
So moved.
So moved, Mary Duncan. Need a second?
Second.
Second, Wayne Wagner. Any more discussion?
I have a question. John,
Go right ahead, sir.
I'm looking at our zoning district map here in the comprehensive plan we just got. And M1 currently, do we have, I mean, I don't see a whole lot of M1 here.
Yeah, it would be on Farnsworth Road and
Over here?
Waterville. Yeah.
By the, so that would be by the industrial park
Right.
and the property that the port purchased.
Right.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you would have to rezone probably to the west, M1, and, that's how you would continue that.
So it'd be a matter of getting it rezoned and everything, going through all of that.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
And you are correct. These things take a lot of power to operate, and a number of them that I'm aware of that have been built across the country have their own power generation system that they utilize for their power. So, which is fueled by natural gas.
Yeah.
So, from what I've seen. So.
Yeah, I understand the same thing, that they self-contain themselves, you know, and again, we're just trying to get prepared and be
Yep.
ready so that we're not
Somebody
reacting
calls.
to it, so. All right, any other questions?
Thank you.
Yep. All right, it's
I
been
have a
moved and.
couple, Mayor.
Go right ahead.
Thank you. I think it's very well done, by the way, the resolution, John, and all the language. Nicely done, nicely done. But I don't know that we need all that language. It's focused on the data center, and we don't do this for Myers, we didn't do it for the car wash, we didn't do it for Kroger's. So, if we're gonna have this much specificity for one project, I would like to see it for Myers, for example, the facade of the Myers. Why don't we have that much detail? And I don't think we should. I think we should leave it to the planning commission to plan each project as we go. And either make it a conditional use permit and then develop all the conditions, rather than putting all the restrictions for just a data center in our code. I guess I'm not seeing why we would do that as opposed to every other project that comes along.
I mean, you know, we all went through the amphitheater, and we had,
Yeah.
I think a zoning change and a conditional uses could be just, there won't be much difference between the two if people are against it. It'll be just as contentious. These have been some of the things, I guess, throughout the United States that people have complained about is how they look and make sure they don't generate noise, and they're away from residences, and these just seem to be the things that irritate people the most, and but they've also been things that I guess it's our industry standards. They don't want all the buildings to look alike. They don't want them to just be a blank wall and things like that. I mean, Myers is 130,000 square feet. I mean, these could be 300,000 square feet. So,
But this language just allows it. That's what we're doing
Right.
tonight. We're allowing it in Waterville, basically.
We could just allow it by saying data center, as an addition to the allowed uses, data center, subject to conditional use.
But
well,
that would-
I mean, I think
you
you could,
could've-
but you leave it open for anything. I
Yeah.
mean, and a developer doesn't have a roadmap to follow, and even if you give them that roadmap, I mean, they still have to go to the planning commission, site plan review, engineering review. If it generates any noise, they gotta provide some kind of study regarding that. I think you're taking a risk if it's just wide open, anything goes. I think you need some standards with
Well,
data center.
why don't we do it with every potential project?
But I think we do. I mean, Myers has a traffic study, and you know, we had the truck stop had 3 traffic studies
Yeah.
of the same project.
Right.
None
of which we liked, by the way.
And that was the aspect of the Myers project, or the Quick Trip project, that had the most impact on the community is the traffic. So that's in there. That was required.
Couldn't we do that, the same thing here, though, without I wonder if we're scaring data centers away with all of the detail that's in the book that we proposed.
I mean, I don't think so. Oregon this is modeled on what Oregon has done.
Same language.
New Albany, Ohio has done the same thing. I guess they're located in commercial districts, believe it or not, which I was, wow, and they have architectural standards, so you don't know which one is a data center. It looks like an office building, just a big office
Yeah.
building, but so these are some of the things that have worked in other communities, and
I think it'll work, but I think it's
Overkill.
it's overdone, I think. No offense. No offense. I think it's overdone. It's more than we need. We could invite data centers, and if you want to be a data center in Waterville, here's what we're going to require, and it's going to have to go through the whole process. And then we'll decide at the end of the process if it's acceptable or not.
if you added a conditional use onto this, but had these same standards, I think you're giving them what you want, and you know, if you think it needs more, I don't know.
No, it needs less. I understand.
I think that the way, you know, the opposition to these things, that's kind of what this is you're trying to address people's concerns ahead of time, And if you don't do that, then they're gonna show up and say, oh my God, they're trying to sneak a data center in here, like the amphitheater or
Yeah.
something.
So this is for the
And-
public,
and-
not for the, not for
And
the
the
data
public
center.
will see that we have standards,
Right.
Yeah.
and we're not just sneaking this in, and then they see it's a conditional use, but there are no requirements, so they could do whatever they want.
We do have standards.
So I mean, it's like you can do it either way, and I guess either way, you know, you might have problems, but at least if the standards are out there, unlike our township neighbors, people are gonna see that a data center is coming into Waterville Township or Monclova Township, and they go, there's no standards, they can do whatever they want. Well, with our code, it says what they can do, and so people have an idea, well, they're looking out for us ahead of time and not after the fact.
I understand that.
You know,
Yeah.
I think that was a learning experience. I mean, we didn't have any regulations for outdoor amphitheaters.
We could not have anticipated an amphitheater.
And I think we addressed it very well. We had a lot of conditions and things were addressed, and they were gonna be
The
addressed.
rows of conditions, remember those, Wayne?
But
I remember.
But I think
Dig it in.
people took it, some of the people took it the wrong way, that, well, they can do anything they want. They're just making up this stuff.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, either way you do it, I think, you're still gonna, you know, you're not gonna win either way. But at least this way, the public knows what the requirements are.
And so
for the
if
town.
it came in, and I don't wanna take too much time here, but if it comes in, somebody brings a data center proposal,
An amphidata? That's fine, as long as it's inside.
we can go beyond what's in here, or is this what we're limited to? What we have in the code?
Well, you have site plan review, you have the landscaping section.
Planning commission.
Planning commission, you have all the engineering requirements.
The only planning commission review is for fencing, and this, it said the planning commission has to approve fencing.
Well, it also says it has to follow site plan review and landscaping. So if you get into the site plan review, it talks about traffic studies, you know, all the other things that you need in a site plan review and
every
engineering
project.
review, civil review, construction type review, landscaping. It has to be prepared by a landscape architect if you look at the landscaping plan. So
You gotta do it all.
you
Yeah.
gotta do it all.
Well, we would do that anyway, wouldn't we?
I think so, but,
Yeah.
you know.
I have one more comment, and that is, this is, you know, the current data center is huge. And I think the way technology goes, there's a good chance that in 5 years, the data center won't be much bigger than this room.
Well, let's hope so.
Yeah, yeah.
We can hope.
So maybe we don't need all this, I guess that's what I'm saying.
I mean, and we can always change it in a couple of years if things change. And if you don't need to, you know, if people understand what they are and they're not, you know, they're not afraid of it, you know, it's like the next industrial revolution, right?
Right.
It's like Henry Ford and the assembly line. You know, this is crazy. Let's stay with our horses and buggies. And you know, it developed, and people were, oh, this works. It's fine. And maybe we'll get to that point that data centers will be innocuous. Maybe not as bad as a gas station, but
We'll see.
Yeah.
poor Rose.
Well, thanks, John.
Thank you,
So
John.
we can always
Appreciate
change
that.
this. I think it's open to, if it becomes too complex, then you can always, through our zoning process, our rewrite coming out, we
Yeah.
can always pare it down a little, but better safe than sorry, I guess.
John, thank you.
you.
Mary?
Yep.
Nothing.
You know, I'm still kind of out on data centers in general, and they are a hot topic item. There's people that love them and people that hate them, and I guess I'd have to see what the tax bring-in would be for the city of Waterville to make my decision. But I'm okay with there being a lot of rules on those, just because of that. But as it stands right now, in M1, we have a very small M1 area. We don't even have a large enough spot in M1 to build a data center if we wanted to, correct?
We don't know that. I mean, that's probably a valid thing, but we don't know it to be
Yeah.
a fact. And number one, we don't have a data center knocking on our door.
Right, and that's my next point. And then it would be a zoning change, so we could always say, what are you gonna do, like we did with Quick Trip, before we approve the zoning change, to allow it. So nothing's coming, there's nothing to scare anybody with.
we're
It's
just-
just allowing it in M1 is all we're doing.
All we're doing is just trying to get as prepared as we can today, and we'll deal with it later on.
If it
Right,
ever
when it
comes.
comes.
Right.
If it
If
comes.
All right, so it's been moved and seconded. We've had discussion on ordinance number 0725. I would ask for roll call.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. No.
Yes.
All right, that ordinance passes. We will move on to new business, ordinance number 0825, an ordinance amending Chapter 1171 of the Planning and Zoning Code by adopting and approving the City of Waterville 2025 Comprehensive Plan. The first reading is scheduled for tonight, second reading scheduled for September 22nd, third reading and a public hearing scheduled, legislative action scheduled for October the 13th. We heard the presentation earlier, and I'd ask you all to please review the plan that you have. Next is ordinance number 0925, an ordinance amending ordinance number 0625, the amended FY 2025 annual appropriation ordinance, and declaring an emergency. John, would you explain that, please?
Well, this is our third budget amendment of the year, and so we have some additional revenue. Later in the council meeting, we're certifying our property tax levies for collection, and so we did have an increase in property tax revenue, about $392,000, increase in EMS billing, and then some additional expense. We're buying some real estate. We have some contract services for the purchase of the real estate, some increases for healthcare, for police and fire, and then there's some other items in there. And hopefully that'll get us to the end of the year where we do our traditional last budget amendment of the year in December.
So I need a motion to accept ordinance number 0925.
So moved. We need another.
Excuse me, I move that I move that the rules be suspended to allow for the passage of ordinance number 0925 as an emergency measure.
Second.
I need a move.
You moved. Give it to Wayne the second.
Wayne seconded that. Roll call.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, now I move in the final passage for ordinance number 0925, first and final reading as an emergency measure. Need a second. Second, John Rozick. Any more discussion? Roll call.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Good. Next is resolution 02825, a resolution requesting the auditor of Lucas County of Ohio to issue advance payments on the current collection of taxes due to the city of Waterville during the calendar year 2026. John, would you explain that further?
Thank you, Mayor. So this is our annual request to the county auditor to release any property tax revenue that's collected in advance of our usual March and August collection dates. So that'll just allow us to get a portion of our property tax revenue as soon as it's available.
Pretty straightforward. Think we get our money, right, sooner than later?
When would we get our money otherwise, John? What would they do?
Well, we'd get it all in one lump sum, so it'd be March or August.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's why we get it twice?
So we usually get two advances. We'll get one for like the police pension, and then we'll get one for the property tax or fire, or a little bit of all of them. It just depends. So.
And we have to ask. They won't just give it to us, right?
No.
Right.
I move. Ready
John?
to move already?
John Rozak moved that we pass
Second.
resolution 2825. Todd Borowski seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Next is Resolution 2925, a resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorize the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the Lucas County Auditor. John?
Thank you, Mayor. So this is our, the County Budget Commission meets and they give us an estimate of what our property tax collections will be for 2026. And more than likely, due to the increase in the reevaluations of property and then any new taxable parcels that were created, new lots, things like that, we saw about a $248,000 increase in our inside millage, so that is more than likely from reevaluations, and then on the outside millage is about additional $30,000, so that's probably due to the creation of new parcels. So a net increase. Now this is the gross revenue, so we talked about the health department earlier, so they take out their fee, and then the homestead and rollback payments, which is included in the revenue that we get every year, but that's broken out in our budget. But that number would also be in that amount from the county. And John, we have to ask them to put it on the tax rolls, or they won't collect it. So every year.
Yep.
So I need a motion to accept Resolution 2925.
So moved.
So moved, Mary Duncan.
Second.
Second, Rod Fry. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Next is an executive session, a consideration of matters per Ohio Revised Code 121G2, purchase or sale of property for public purposes. And I need a roll call to go into executive session. Need a
I move.
Moved. I need a second.
Second.
Second, John Rosick. Roll call.
Yes.
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 We will be back out shortly, and we don't plan to have any business afterwards.